Hello and welcome to Travel Weekly and another of our Roadmap to Recovery webcasts. I'm here in Southampton with Ben Bouldin from Royal Caribbean Cruises, and he's the Vice President UK, Europe and Middle East, and we're here in front of Anthem with Seas, which is ready to set sail with passengers for the first time since the start of the pandemic on Wednesday the 7th of July. So it's very exciting. So tell us how you feel. What's it like to be here and see it?
Oh, it's incredible. I think over the course of the last 15 months, it's been soul destroying to kind of not know when we can get back. But there's been a huge amount of work behind the scenes to make sure that we have the protocols in place to look after our crew, which are the most important thing to us, our guests, and obviously the destinations we go and see. So to be standing here today, to have this incredible ship sail into Southampton this morning, it's just been fantastic. And yeah, the sun isn't shining for us, but it's not going to ruin anything.
And so she's been in Poole Harbour for much of the past 15 months or so. So it's been ticking over, but obviously there's been a lot of activity to get her ready, and you've got a shakedown cruise tomorrow, which will just iron out any possible finals and wrinkles, and then you're ready to welcome people on board, and they'll be fully vaccinated, apart from children. And what sort of passengers have you? What sort of capacity have you got, and what sort of passengers will there be? Sort of couples, I guess older people if they're double vaccinated, but have you got grandparents with kids, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we've got a real mix booked throughout the summer. Ever since really the government allowed us or gave us permission to sail from May the 17th. The cruise lines have obviously been thinking about, okay, in what guise can we do that, and what's the reality of that programme look like? Because of course we're used to sailing internationally, particularly a cruise line like Royal Caribbean. So to adjust our programme to cruise domestically took a little bit of thinking. Obviously a very large ship, so you can't go everywhere. We took a lot of time to think about what's the right type of itinerary to do, and obviously we want to make sure we attract the right type of audience that's going to enjoy this fantastic ship. We're a family brand, and we've had to work through what the realities are of cruising with children, and our protocols have to be right and they have to be fit for purpose. So we have attracted, guess what, unsurprisingly, very similar dynamic to what we normally have. So we've got lots of families coming on board. Obviously it's school holidays and we're keen to make sure we do that. And of course what we've had to do is find families who have parents that are both vaccinated, and then obviously the children can be tested with a peer and don't have to be vaccinated under 18. Now there is a proportion of the population who doesn't have to be parents yet that are fully vaccinated, so of course there is a segment of the market, at least initially, won't be able to cruise with us. But as the summer unfolds, more and more people are obviously being vaccinated. The country's doing a great job at kind of pushing through the second vaccines. So come the end of the summer, I think everybody will really come and enjoy a great holiday with Royal Caribbean.
And you've got some excursions, so there's various ports of call for these UK cruises. So it's what are the destinations that you're going to
so we're going to Liverpool, we're going to Belfast. We hope to go to Scotland and to Kirkwall, in the Shetland Isles at some point this summer. We're obviously waiting for Nicola Sturgeon to grant permission for us to sail to Scotland and stop in Scotland. But yeah, in all the ports of call we're doing, we'll be offering a curated shore excursion, so that we'll be keeping families together and ensuring they remain safe.
And you have agents coming on board, agents being able to see it, and I know you had a competition, didn't you?
So I mean the beauty, as you say, of having a shakedown or simulation sailing that we have coming up tomorrow is that we're able to just invite a number of our very loyal guests, so from our Crown and Anchor Society, but most importantly, we get to get all the great trade partners on who've had such a torrid time over the last 12 to 15 months because it's been so difficult to kind of sell travel to anyone, and we're able to invite a huge number of those through our Club Royal programme, and we did do a ballot, so we were able to offer a good number of cabins to travel agents, and of course many of them will excitedly be entering tomorrow.
Brilliant. And this is a great opportunity, these staycations are a great opportunity for agents to start earning some money now, some commission now, because they're departing.
Yeah, it's 2021 business. It's here, it's now, and they're going imminently. So yeah, we wanted agents to come back quickly. We need to remind them through our Learn programme, which is on our Club Royal platform. They need to do that to make sure they're up to speed on all the things happening. Because 15 months is a long time to kind of remember all the detail you used to have. And of course, we want people to come back, refresh their knowledge, come on our systems and tools, find the marketing assets they need to kind of put compelling programs together for their guests, past guests, and then go out there and try and encourage people to try a domestic cruise this summer. And look, everybody, I think, thought post-pandemic that the cruises would come back first. Actually, when we started elsewhere in the world, we're seeing people come to cruise who've never cruised before. It's a fantastic opportunity for people to try a domestic cruise. You don't have to travel very far. You turn up in Southampton, you get on board, and you can have any sailing between sort of 4 and 8 nights. And it's just a great taster. And I think the families that haven't cruised before will love it.
Do you know what proportion are new to cruise for the current bookings?
No, not yet, because we only collect that data post the sailing, so it's very difficult for us to assess that early doors. But certainly where we started our programme, we did domestic cruising in Singapore, cruising to nowhere effectively, actually we don't stop anywhere. But what we've seen is about 70% of the guests that have done that were new to us. I'm sure some of them perhaps have cruised elsewhere, but generally speaking, a lot of new to cruise have come through. So it's proven to be a very, very popular weekend away. So if we can get a bit of that in the UK industry here, I think it could be a very fantastic summer.
And how have sales been? Is there still availability for this summer, or is it all sold out now?
Yeah, some of the early sailings are sold out because we are being cautious when we're starting. So this ship actually holds nearly 4,200 people when we're at full load factor. We'll be starting very cautiously, and our first couple of sailings are just with 1,000 people. So we just want to make sure we find our way in. As we go through the season, the government's now said we can go up to 50% load factor, so that will obviously allow us to go up to sort of circa 2,000 guests. So we have availability. We're having to be nimble with what the government's dictating, but they're working with us, and they've been incredible support throughout the summer actually in terms of really genuinely trying, Department for Transport, Public Health England, they've been working closely with us to try and facilitate this return. Other cruise lines have already started, and we're delighted that Anthem is going to be starting soon.
And how will it be different on board? What will people notice, and what will be the same on board?
Well, I hope they don't notice a huge amount of difference, because that's what we're about, is giving people a great vacation. There are a couple of things which they're going to notice. So one is you need to be wearing masks when you're moving around. Obviously you don't need to wear it in the stateroom, you don't need to wear it when you're sitting down eating or drinking. Very similar to rules that we have if you went to a shopping mall here. We are applying those rules. We will have social distancing in play. We've got to reduce capacity that will enable that to be easy to digest, and that will be fine. All the entertainment is open and live. The pools are open, the whirlpools are open, the shows will be on. Everything that you could do on a normal cruise will be available here. There's very few things we can't do. I think the only thing we're not doing is the circus school, because that requires a lot of great physical, close contact, which in the current climate is perhaps not ideal, but literally everything else is available, and I'm sure that people can do fantastic work.
And there's plenty of facilities, so even if it's a bit English weather, not brilliant,
well,
there's plenty to do and entertainment on board.
Funny you should say that, because if you're going to do a cruise around the UK, I'd argue this ship is as good as any. And I'll tell you why, because the inside of the ship is phenomenal. The facilities and entertainment this ship has, even amongst our own fleet, is fantastic. It's a quantum class ship. Our quantum class ships, and this ship was actually designed to be in Southampton. The entertainment on this ship, We Will Rock You, the West End show, it was for the British public. Our Vice President of Entertainment, Nick Weir, will tell you that he designed the entertainment for Anthem for a UK audience. Well, we've got the ship here, we've got that entertainment. The UK audience is in for a treat.
You mentioned the other cruises, so Singapore, Israel, Cyprus, you've been operating, so you've also sort of been able to use their experience to make sure that this is the first cruise departure from the UK that is going to be all shipshape.
Yeah, I mean, there's been lots of starts and nearly starts. Singapore started in November. Cyprus actually starts later this week.
Oh,
so I go from here actually to Cyprus later this week to see Jewel of the Sea start. We've got Harmony starting in August. But recently we've had Adventure start up in Barbados. And we've got lots of programs sort of coming into the fray over the next couple of weeks. But you're right, that program we did in Singapore has really given us a test bed for our protocols and a chance to practice them. And we've carried well over 70,000 passengers without a single case of COVID. So we know the protocols work. And they don't have vaccines. So it's obviously different in different parts of the world, but we're really confident in our vaccine plus layered approach to health and wellbeing protocols and the testing regime we're putting in. It's going to make sure that everyone stays safe.
Agents who may have clients that have some concerns, that, you could obviously give them advice about how safe it is on board and what experience you've had elsewhere and the level of protocol. So, if there are clients who consider, maybe recall what happened at the start of the pandemic and are still wary, you'll be able to help the agents reassure their clients.
Absolutely. The industry had a challenge more than anything else at the start of this pandemic because we didn't know what we were dealing with. And frankly, we didn't have a huge amount of support from the destinations that we were at the time. I can tell you there's no cruise line starting service again now. It does not have absolute clarity and agreement in place at every destination they go to. That if in the worst case scenario, a COVID case occurs, that guest can be catered for and taken off the ship and given the medical treatment and support they need. And those are in place for all cruise lines. So the cruise industry is ready to resume.
And also you've got your new role at Clear that you talked about before on Travel Weekly. And so you get an overview of the whole industry and you see how the cruise industry and the agents and the trade have all worked together to bring us to this point where we're ready to. Some cruise lines have already started and we're ready to start as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously proud to take on that role and take over from Tony Roberts at Princess Cruises, who's done a phenomenal job over 3 years, an extra year on the normal 2 year term. He's been working very closely with Andy Harmer and the clear steering groups that exist around our return to service. So I'm looking forward to the challenge of continuing the work that Tony's done and really helping Andy and the rest of the Clear group ensure that this transition to a domestic programme is a success and then hopefully moving through into international cruising later this summer.
I was going to ask how are sort of bookings for further ahead, later this year and then into 2022 and onwards.
Yeah, I think Travel Weekly quoted me the other day. I said I think 2022 could be a bigger year than 2019 was, and I genuinely believe that. I mean, you've only got to look in Southampton today. You've got MSC's new ship, you've got P&O's new ship, you've got our fantastic ship, Celebrities in. There's some fantastic hardware in the category, and we will be on sale and have every confidence we'll be sailing again in more normal times hopefully in 2022. And if that's the case, stand back, and it's going to be a big year.
Well, I appreciate you having the time. I know it's very busy at the moment. I appreciate you having the time to talk to us.
No, thank you for coming to see us. Thank you.